Lauri Markkanen finishes off the Phoenix Suns with the career-high 38 points. Hits a turnaround jumper with Devin Booker guarding him almost as if he was unaffected. It was nerve-wracking to say the least. Not sure if he was going to hit that shot or not. And it went down. It felt like it was smooth. He was the guy that should have been taking the shot, and he did take the shot. He goes 15 for 18, shooting 83% from the field and 66% from the three-point line, going 2 of 3. 75% from the free throw line. After last game, I believe he shot abysmal 33%. You gotta think that this or that performance from the free throw line helped propel him on this one. Only 1 turnover, 3 assists, 6 rebounds, 1 steal. I mean, easily the best game by Lauri Markkanen in a Jazz uniform. He's followed by Malik Beasley with 27. Malik Beasley has just found his groove shooting, and defensively, he's guarding Devin Booker for parts of that game. Really effective. Jordan Clarkson finishes with 20. Mike Conley, 13. Colin Sexton, 13. And on the other side, Booker nearly gets 50. He ends at 49. Pretty impressive from the Phoenix Suns being able to basically be that close with us at Utah in the Vivint Arena with the loud crowd. Can't help but think if they have Chris Paul, things would have been different. But big win for the Jazz. They get back to their winning ways, and you see Lauri Markkanen just take another leap as a Jazz player. I think a lot of people have been questioning, is he the guy? Can he do it? And tonight is one night on answering that question. I don't think it answers the question in full. Is he that guy every single night? But pretty impressive, especially shooting 83% and being that effective. Let's see how many shots Booker takes. Booker takes 31 shots. That's almost double of what Lauri takes, and shot 51%. And only 22% from 3. So if you look at the numbers, just from an effective standpoint, Lauri Markkanen was tonight so much more effective than Devin Booker, which says a lot. I mean, Devin Booker felt almost unstoppable at times tonight. You guys go ahead and request, and I'll get you guys one at a time. Thanks for joining. If you want to chime in, we'd love to have you say whatever you want, celebrate, or complain about something. The big thing that stood out to me is, and I think I tweeted this at halftime, is the unforced turnovers are just ridiculous. But I think that's expected with a young team like this. Olynyk had one at the end where he kind of just threw it away. Jordan Clarkson was diving out of bounds for it, didn't get it. He had one on a fast break that he was trying to thread the needle. And just so many plays tonight felt like, we could have had the momentum and we just get so excited or are young and don't have the composure to make that momentum carry over to another play, as far as like a fast break or a defensive stop that would lead to scoring on the other end. So Simone Fontecchio had 9 minutes, came in, had 5 points, had a huge block at the end. It was great to see him get those minutes. I think Coach is beginning to be more confident in him. And we'll go down the list. I have thoughts on all these other players, but Dallin, I'm going to go over to you first. Why don't you give us your thoughts? And I may cut you off if Coach Hardy starts talking. Dallin, you there? Dallin Orcutt? Are your 5 kids hanging on your arm? All right. We are going to go to the next request. Armani, go ahead, man. I just approved you. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Anybody else want to speak? Awesome. Just let me know. As far as Walker Kessler, I'd like to hit on that because he finally gets some minutes tonight, 20 minutes, and just didn't feel effective. He didn't. Did he score? He scored 1 point at the free throw line. And watching him tonight, I've really been high on Walker Kessler. I still am. I still feel he should start over Kelly Olynyk because I feel he would benefit being with the starters, and then Kelly. How about them Jazz, boy? Let me finish this take, and then I'll let you go.
Jordan must be. His mic's muted.
My mic is muted. I've been calling on you guys this entire time. That's the second time in a row. So, anyways, I'm talking about Walker Kessler now. We covered Lauri Markkanen scoring his career high, Simone Fontecchio getting minutes at the end, with the block and being in at the end, and then Walker Kessler finally gets his 20 minutes, and really was ineffective. And I was hitting on how I still feel that he should be starting over Kelly Olynyk because I feel the starters would make him better, but I also think Kelly Olynyk will help settle down that second unit. Our second unit really is pretty strong when you got Colin Sexton, Malik Beasley, Taylor Horton Tucker, Kessler, and possibly Vanderbilt, Olynyk in there with that second unit. So, Dallin, since you can now hear me, why don't you take over and give us your thoughts on the game?
Lauri Markkanen, 38 points on 18 shots, man. Just it was an awesome team effort. We can rag on the defense a little bit for giving up 130 some odd points, but yeah, I was just great. It was everything we needed after that 3-game slide that we just recently had. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, it was shocking. I mean, Kessler's going to have those ups and down games, but I think he came out there and just gave it a good effort. So we'll see games with him contributing better and more, and just because rookies, they have growing pains. So I don't know, it's funny to me that Devin Booker can go for 47, but that just goes to show that maybe, the Jazz are that good that it takes the Phoenix Suns to have a player go off like that to even keep up with us. So.
Yeah, and I hit on that while I was muted. I went over Lauri and how impressive that is. I think a lot of people have questioned, can he be the guy? And I think tonight is one of those nights where he was so effective. He shot 83% from the field, 66% from the three, and 75% from the free throw line. Devin Booker ends with 49, but he takes almost double the amount of shots as Lauri. So, 11 more points and takes 31 shots. Lauri only takes 18. I mean, that's huge if you can be that effective, especially that last shot with Devin Booker guarding him. Turnaround. I was a little nervous that he took it. It just almost looked.
I was like, no. Oh,
yeah. It looked like the replay. It was almost like he was ineffective with a smaller guy on him. So yeah, it was. I mean, it was a great game. I almost think it's builds more confidence for us to win a close game like that. Obviously, if they have Chris Paul, it could be a totally different game. But this is one of the top teams in the league and gets us back on the winning track. And we really looked fresh again tonight. We didn't look too tired like the other nights. I love that coach is starting to trust Simone Fontecchio, and I think we can move on from Rudy Gay, to be honest.
Please, let's move on from Rudy Gay.
So, Armani, we're going to head over to you. I think that you have already been approved to speak, so just go ahead and unmute yourself. Give us all the goods.
It still shows him as a listener. I don't know.
Oh, I think when I unmute myself, I have to approve people again. All right, Armani, go ahead.
Do you see what happens when we give Lauri the damn ball?
You were saying it.
Damn ball. No, but Lauri played a great game. I feel like he got the ball exactly where he wanted, which is really he really likes to get around the elbow area in the paint. He really doesn't like hanging around the perimeter like that. And every game, and if you watched every game that he has went off, most of his shots are going to be around that paint area. Malik Beasley played a beautiful game.
Yes.
Yeah,
you can't ask any much more from him. Colin Sexton need to be pulled a little bit. He needs to pull his. I think he needs a little dimmer of a green light.
I don't know what kind of energy pill he was on tonight, but
he's always on an energy pill, man. He's like takes 5-hour energies and then pounds of Red Bull.
Yeah, just pound like a 6-pack of Red Bull or something.
I feel.
Hey, let me cut you off real quick. Coach Hardy's on, so give me just a sec.
Came in 20 minutes ago. Guys on both teams, making big-time plays down the stretch, back and forth. Really proud of the energy that our team played with tonight. I think it showed just the pace we played with, not only in transition, but in the half court, moving the ball, moving our bodies. We were able to execute some stuff down the stretch very well. Lauri had his career high tonight, 38. Really came through for us. Mike, Jordan, Jeremy, everybody that played in the game contributed. Another very good team win, and it was great. The energy from the crowd tonight was unbelievable. I've been in a lot of playoff games, and that one had the audio of a playoff game there coming down the stretch. So credit to them as well. Fun night.
Does Lauri's ability to move off ball seem unique for his size?
Yeah, it probably doesn't match the package that it comes in, I guess. Like you look at him and you wouldn't assume that he's that mobile and that nimble. Like his footwork, it's not just like the speed straight line, it's his footwork in tight spaces and ability to change direction. His vertical athleticism is very good. Like he's been just as impressive as an athlete, not being around him before as he has a basketball player.
You went with Malik Beasley down the stretch there, and obviously he had a very good game. What does he bring, and why did you choose to do that?
Yeah, I thought, Malik was having a very good night. His spacing, his ability, to get shots off in tight windows against a long, athletic defensive team like that, I thought was something that we were going to need down the stretch. I felt like we were going to be in our execution part of the game. We were going to have the ball with Mike and JC and Lauri. And I thought that, Malik's spacing was going to be critical for us. And he did a wonderful job all night, hit a lot of big shots.
When you said early in training camp that you wanted to get guys into the best shape that they've been in, was it this kind of game that you were anticipating needing that forward? Because it seemed like even though the pace was crazy, the energy just kind of remained high throughout.
Yeah, I think it's, when you look at your team and you're trying to figure out what your advantages could be, I felt like fitness was something that we could control to a degree, and we wanted to make sure that we took care of all the things that we thought we could control. And a credit to the guys, like they really bought into it in camp. They went really, really hard at practice and, didn't ever complain, even when some practices maybe went longer than they expected or there was extra conditioning stuff at the end. But, they knew that it was going to be a big part of our identity, not not only playing more players, but trying to keep the tempo of the game up with our ball movement and body movement. So I think it definitely showed up tonight down the stretch.
Phoenix had quite a few offensive boards down the stretch there. Did you think about having Walker in there to help with the rebounding down the stretch, or were you just feeling like you had an advantage with the small lineup? Yeah, I thought the small lineup was our best chance to win the game. I thought Devin Booker, who's an unbelievable player, he really had his way against the drop tonight, and I didn't think down the stretch I wanted to show him any more drop. Walker does so many things well for our team, but right now switching is not something that he's doing a lot of. So I just felt like down the stretch, the small lineup was going to be our best opportunity.
You mentioned Booker. What do you think allowed Phoenix to get back into this game the way they did in the second half?
I mean, it was an 8-point game at halftime, and I think that our turnovers in the second half didn't help us. We had some decision-making in transition that wasn't very good. Like, we had the advantage in transition a couple times that ended up in dunks for them going the other way. And it just, there's moments in the game where the momentum can really shift and you can sort of blow a game open, and we didn't capitalize on those very well. But, you know, that also just shows, you know, Phoenix is a very well-coached team. They've been in the finals. That group has been together for a while, like tight games. They don't flinch, you know, from Monty down through all the players. That they've been in a lot of close games, and they know how to execute and stay alive. So we knew at halftime that they were going to come out with a lot of energy, and they were not going to go away. And I felt like our decision-making, especially in transition, did not help us in the second half.
Have you seen Mike get that fired up yet, or was that the first time?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm not sure I've seen Mike yell yet, but he's really competitive. I think you guys all know that. You've been around Mike longer than I have, but he's really, really competitive, although not always super vocal. But, you know, he's the leader of our group, and those moments, the team rallies around him, and I thought the crowd rallied around him to see Mike get that fired up. You know, big plays, digging out rebounds. He had a block shot that was huge, hit some big shots, as usual, making, you know, very good decisions for our team. So really happy for him. Maybe we need more yelling.
Just kind of big picture, you know, how does it make you feel as a coach to see Lauri being able to excel in a role that's exceeded pretty much all of the roles that he's had in his career?
Yeah, it's fun to watch. I don't know what the ceiling is on Lauri. I don't think any of us do, but I'm pretty sure we haven't seen it yet based on what we're watching night in and night out. He works really, really hard on his game. It's not just, you know, what he's doing in the game, like the work that he puts in. You guys see him some at practice, in practice, post practice is really diligent, very detailed. He's a wonderful guy, and I'm just really happy for him because I think, you know, he wants to be good, and you know, this is the third team he's played on, and I think he's feeling comfortable with our group, and we need him. He knows that. Like, it's not just me that's empowering Lauri. His teammates, they know how good he is and how good he can be. So, you know, they're probably empowering him more than I am.
This is one of Jarred's kind of high assist games, and he kind of operates out of that handoff role up the top. But kind of what are the keys to success in that role, and why is he making kind of good decisions at that spot? Yeah,
it's when a big like Ayton is guarding you, you know, we're going to try to move Jarred around a good amount in some different spots. And he knows that not only is he a cutter, but there's times when Ayton goes to help that he has to be a sort of a pressure release for us. So it's a little bit like playing tight end, you know, in football. You have to find the dead area in the defense and be a safety valve for us. And he does a really good job of going from that spot, catching the ball, to recognizing where he needs to go next with it. He's so quick with his movements, like he's able to get from one thing to the next very, very quickly. The role that he's in is not easy because he's moved around a lot, and he has to read the defense as well as what we're executing on offense. Like, he has a lot of decisions that he's making, even though he doesn't always have the ball. And he's doing a great job for us. Like, we ask Vento to do a lot. We ask him to guard some of the best players in the NBA. We ask him to offensive rebound. We ask him to push the ball in transition. We ask him to find the dead area in the defense. He's doing a great job for us. And, he knows that's what we need from him every single night. And, we've talked about every guy on this team just playing to their strengths and bringing something to the party. And Jarred's been huge for us.
Joined by Big T. Thurl Bailey called the game tonight with Craig Bowler-Jack. And T, before you sat down, we were listening to Coach, and he was saying about the environment tonight. How?
That was interesting, him talking about Vanderbilt that way, because I almost was going to hit on a point where it's just like, I feel like sometimes he doesn't make very good decisions. Obviously, Coach says he's making a lot of different decisions, defensively and offensively. I felt like Coach got back to what brought success to the team early on, as far as switching up the defense on their best player. I know Beasley guarded Devin Booker, Vanderbilt, Markkanen was on him at times. And I think THT may have been on him a few times too, but those are the three main ones. So if you guys want to speak, go ahead and request. Armani, we kind of cut you off, so I'm going to let you go ahead and take the mic back.
It's funny as hell that Hardy said that about Vando, because I'll be honest with you, I feel like Vando fits better with the bench.
Yeah,
he fits way better with the bench squad. I think Beasley should be the starter.
I feel like he brings, Beasley is by far like our best two-way player, in my opinion. He can lock down someone on defense, but then he can go off and hit shots on the other end, which is really, really hard to do, to have energy on both sides of the ball. So Malik Beasley, man, he to me, he solidified who he is as a player tonight in my mind. And Vanderbilt, I was so high on Vanderbilt those first few games, and it just feels like he's dropped off. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there.
I don't think anything really changed about his game. I just believe that he doesn't fit with certain people. Like Mike Conley and JC struggles with JC with Vandal on the court.
Yeah. And see, in the pregame, we were talking, John Collins is in talks from the Atlanta Hawks and trades. I feel like he is a Jarred Vanderbilt, but way better offensively and way more of a threat. It would be amazing if we could get John Collins for Vanderbilt. I think that would be a hell of a swap, but not sure if it's going to happen.
I believe. See, John Collins is a great addition, because I've seen his numbers the other day. Him with Trae Young and him with Dejounte Murray. Like his pick and roll scoring is like through the roof. It's like the points per possession is like, it's not fun.
Yeah.
Like he's really elite on the pick and roll, but he doesn't get enough pick and roll action because of Capella. So I feel like if you put him in a position where maybe he could play a small ball five, because no matter what, we really don't have that much rim protection besides Walker.
No. Yeah. And Walker struggled tonight. He got the most minutes he probably has and was really ineffective.
Yeah. So I think we should be able to see. He's a good rebounder, sound rebounder. Sometimes he could be a great rebounder. So that will show up some of the things that Vanderbilt could do. And also we'll have a way more wide open offense, because maybe if even we can replace him with Kelly Olynyk, as in putting Kelly O on the bench. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know how you would want to put what's his name on the court, but I feel like he would be a great addition. I think he would be a better option, because it'll open up the floor for Lauri, because he could step out. So Lauri could be able to be at that elbow position that he'd like to be. Conley, it would be way better for Conley, because we have another athlete on the court that you could throw the oop to, or he could pop out to three. So it'll make the game easier for everybody else if we go ahead and go get him.
Yeah, I think he would be a great fit with Conley as far as like the pick and roll or Mike Conley being able to find him. But Vanderbilt just doesn't have the best hands either to catch the ball. It's like he's got to be lockdown defender or getting hustle plays and rebounds. And if he's not doing that, what is he doing for you? So I'm still on the train of starting Walker Kessler and having Olynyk on the second unit, because I think Kessler will do better with that starting unit. Just having better players around him will make him better. But then I also feel like Kelly Olynyk will kind of settle down that second crew. But
I don't think you can have Kessler and Vando on the because they
I believe.
Yeah, I think you can do Beasley. Yeah, Beasley.
Yeah, I feel like we can have Beasley, either Beasley over Vando, or still Vando coming off the bench in my situation. You can have Kessler and Kelly O as the two bigs.
Well, if we could get John Collins, that'd be amazing.
If we can get John Collins, but what would we be giving up for John Collins?
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to get.
I think they're gonna ask for Beasley.
Yeah, it's either Beasley or Clarkson. I'd probably at this point be more willing to give up Clarkson.
I don't think you can do Beasley shooting, bro.
I'm not giving Beasley for shit.
Yeah, Beasley's just such a great defender that.
Yeah, he's a better version of Wesley Matthews to me.
Yeah, and he's like more of a pure shooter. Jordan Clarkson is so streaky at times. It's if he's on, he's on, but if he's not, good luck. Talen Horton-Tucker, I feel like he had only 15 minutes, 7 points, but man, when he comes in, you can tell he's playing a lot more under control. I think he's a great piece for us to have as far as being able to guard a bigger guard like Luka Doncic. But the other thing that stood out to me, and Coach Hardy kind of talked about this, is the turnovers. Like the momentum feels like it can shift our way, and he is the best word. We didn't capitalize on it. We only had 16. They had 14. But what do you guys think as far as like this team just turning the ball over, like unforced turnovers?
Bad spacing.
Yeah, and they're struggling rebounding tonight too. So there was like a few times where they were just it was like
we don't box out. We just don't box out. It's no second. There's no secondary box out. It might be an initial box out, but maybe somebody will just jump off their feet a little bit too early, and then there's no box out from the guard. So then if we always get these offensive rebounds, that should not be happening at all. Or
Mike Conley out rebounding people.
Yeah, I remember a play got kicked to the corner. Someone drove, kicked to the corner, and then there was two players on the backside, and Vanderbilt and someone else just totally stood there and watched the ball go up. It went in, but it's like, okay, like if that ball bounces off, it's most likely going to the backside, and you guys are at the front of the rim just watching it. Like how it doesn't make sense. But the other thing, and I think a lot of teams are starting to pick up on this, our transition defense is awful. Like, we don't even run back. There was another play with Vanderbilt. He missed that corner three. It was a contested corner three. I didn't mind the shot. But then he, like, hung his head and barely made it past half court. His guy sprints to the front of the rim and scores. And it's like, bro, sprint back on D. Like, we don't care that you missed a three-point shot. Just sprint back. But what can this team overcome the defensive woes and the transition D, because it feels like when we beat teams, we have to outscore them, and that's only going to last for so long, especially if you have an off night. Do you guys think it's ever going to get fixed throughout this season, or will we have to wait till next season for our defense to get fixed?
That's a next season situation. Next season, and I think the pressing issue is the fact that the reason why we didn't notice how bad it was at the beginning of the season is because we played so fast and we punched teams so early in the face that we didn't have that problem.
Yeah.
And that we constantly was going to the free throw line, so we was getting a lot of dead balls. Because of the fact that sometimes we're having these long misses and stuff like that, the game is being sped up, and we don't have the transition. Nobody hustles enough on the transition defense, so it's just like it just looks ugly now.
Down, what are your thoughts? Tajin, I know that you're giving thumbs up, thumbs down. Go ahead and request to speak. We'd love to hear from you.
Colin and Kevin waiting to
Colin
talk
and
to
Kevin, yeah, they just haven't requested. I'm just waiting for people to request.
No, I approved them, so they're good to go.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead, Tajin.
Yo, what's up, guys?
What up?
I didn't watch the game. I'm just catching up on the highlights right now, but I looked at the box score, and yeah, it looked like Markkanen and Beasley had good games today. But I do agree. These last few games they kind of exposed their weaknesses there in like transition. But I feel like that is a next season thing. I don't know if we can do much about it except just keep pressure on our offense and just keep letting our offense win the games and just out shooting teams. But as far as the second unit, I don't know. I heard you guys talk about Vanderbilt, and I think they kind of put him in there in the starting lineup. I mean, they go Vanderbilt in the game. I know they did earlier in the season. I didn't see if he started today, but just for rebounding, he's really. He's got the length. He can rebound. Markkanen and Olenek, they can rebound if they're matched up against not as athletic or,
if the ball falls in their lap.
Yeah. If they're there, if they have a good matchup or if it just comes right to them, they're not going to battle against athletic guys. But, as long as if Markkanen can score 38 points a game, then we'll be all right. And Mike Conley had, he was hitting his shots. He needs to hit those 4, 5 threes a game and dish out assists. And I think he can kind of carry the team because they do need experience there when the game gets close.
Yeah, Conley played really well, had 10 assists, 13 points. I mean, he really does lead us at crucial times. He had that big play against Payne where Payne ended up traveling. I actually don't think it was a travel, but I'm glad they called it. And yeah,
Vando, to his credit, did have some nice passing tonight. I will say that. But
yeah, Vando had 8 assists, so he's right
he almost
there.
had a Buckets O'Neal triple-double. I put that in the comments,
but well, and it's impressive that Lauri Markkanen has his career high this early with the Jazz. I think he'll get more than 38 this season, especially when we play these bad teams and someone that really can't guard him. I thought they guarded us pretty well. The Phoenix Suns are defensively rated 3rd in the entire league. Obviously, Chris Paul's not in there. I think he brings a defensive presence with his steals and putting pressure on the point guard. But still, Mike Conley can handle that. I want to hit on Armani's Jarred Vanderbilt with the bench. I think I can see him being with the bench, but also I think it's crucial he's with the starters as well at times because he really isn't that great offensively. But the times that I like seeing him in with the starters is if he is guarding one of the best players on the other team. I really love what Hardy does, switching up the defenders on their best players to give them different looks instead of just get comfortable. And really it gives relief to our players knowing, hey, I'm going to go hard 5-10 minutes and then somebody's going to give me a break as far as defense. So,
yeah, I think Colin wanted to talk. He was going to talk before Tajin did. So
yeah, go ahead. Is he?
What's up, guys?
Oh, okay. You're already approved.
Yes, sir. What's up, guys?
What's up?
That was a very, very, very fun game.
It was fun.
One of my best friends is a Phoenix fan. My prediction for the game, and don't get mad at me for this, but I said 131, 135 Phoenix to him. And he questioned me. He was like, you think the game's going to be that high scoring? And I was like, well, if you've been watching the Jazz, then yes, it'll be that high scoring. And it ended up being right in that range, right in between that range, 131, 135. And was it 133, 134?
Yeah.
At the end. So, that 5-point gap. And I was like, I told him, I was like, yeah, dude, it was going to be high scoring from the jump. I think your only game that was kind of outside of that was the Knicks game. I forgot what the final score of that game was. I remember the first half was from memory correct, it was very slow.
Yeah, our
Anyways,
shots weren't falling. They weren't falling, yeah.
anyways, I think y'all have been giving him praise, but I think the unsung hero from that game is Beasley. Dude, that guy, I want him on my team for the rest of history. Like, he is so awesome. And he was clamping up on defense.
Oh,
Not only was his shot falling, he was clamping up on defense.
On Devin Booker.
On Devin Booker, who couldn't really, I mean, at some points he couldn't miss.
And we'll probably meet the Suns in the playoffs, so we'll definitely need them. So
I do want to get into, from watching this game and watching these last, is it what are we 15 games in now or somewhere around there? I do want to get into the Jazz's future. I don't know if I want to do it this second or do it later in the podcast once we're done talking about this game specifically. Let me know though, because I do want to talk about that. But also, Lauri Markkanen is him. That's a thing now because he looks amazing. I honestly, when those two people on him late in the game, and he threw that shot up, I was like, in my head, I was like, that's going in. Like I don't know why. I was like, that's going in.
I was nervous.
That's who he's been lately, though. That's the guy he's been lately, though. He's hitting those shots. And tonight, he only missed 3 field goals. I was like, well, he's not missing now. But anyways, that was just such a fun game. I had my heart pounding. And our crowd, if there was an award for the livest crowd in the NBA, I think the Jazz would be up there. Because every game, it is just...
It's a playoff game every
never there.
It's game over there.
Yeah, it's always a playoff atmosphere. It's kind of insane.
Except for the Knicks game that I went to. That one was... When we sat down for the Knicks game, I was like, man, it's eerily quiet in here. I've literally never heard it this quiet. But yeah, even Coach Hardy said in his interview, I've been in playoff games and this had the decibel level of a playoff game. I think this was a big game for us tonight. It's Phoenix, they're up top. And then tomorrow we've got another doozy. We're traveling to Portland, so these guys are going to have to get on an airplane tonight and travel. And I wanted to hit on that a little bit because I know with the 3 losses in a row, a lot of people were probably saying, oh, tank, or the honeymoon phase is over, or, oh, this is the team we thought they were. But I got to thinking, and I'm like, man, we've been traveling a lot. We had a road trip. It feels like we've had a lot of back-to-back games. And so I looked into that and saw how many back-to-back games do the Jazz play throughout the season. And we're not even a third of the way through the season right now. And by the time we play tomorrow's game, we will have played the 5th back-to-back game. I looked at the percentages of what the winning percentage is on a back-to-back, and it's around 43%. So basically meaning, chances are you're going to lose on a back-to-back. So
especially on the road.
Yeah, especially on the road. I think we've had 2 back-to-backs on the road. Anyway, so we have 13 total the entire season, and we've already played 5.
Almost half, yeah. We're only almost a quarter way through the season, but I think Kevin and then the XM, they have all requested to speak, and then we got Andrew and JC Drip.
Well, I would let Kevin speak if he put his topless shirt as his profile picture, but he still hasn't done that from his cruise. Kevin, go ahead, man.
I think the XM and JC Drip and Andrew.
And I'll let Kevin go. It's been a while.
I don't know if you guys want to hear from me because I'm not as high on Beasley as you all are.
Oh, yeah. Let's go to the next person.
Here's the thing.
Is it because he's only 6'4" or whatever?
No, it's because we need to sell him now before he turns out to be what he was in Minnesota and Denver.
This
a guy
he
who
just
shows up 25% of the time.
He wants to get rid of all the players.
I've been following Beasley since he was in Denver, and he is like the poster boy for extreme amounts of potential and not getting there. So maybe Hardy's unlocked him, and my hat off to Hardy if he did. And I would gladly take Beasley if this is what we're going to get for the next 5 years. I would lock him up right now. But he's shown over the first 5 years of his career that he can shine in big moments, but he's not consistent. So I'm all for moving him when his stock is high, but we obviously won't do that. But and then as far as like the Vanderbilt, Vando, I think it goes either way. Whether he starts or comes off the bench, I think we know what we're getting from him. Someone who can go 1 for 4, 1 for 3 from the 3-point line during a game, and who's going to get rebounds and go way too hard and pick up a bunch of stupid little fouls.
Yeah, the big knock with Vanderbilt is his fouls are. It's just like either foul him or don't. But it's hard watching him sometimes. He's a little.
In my opinion, though,
aggravating.
you need someone like that. The energy that he brings is also very beneficial to the team sometimes.
I think the energy he brought at the beginning, I don't know, 8 games, but it just hasn't been there lately. So it's like, look, if you bring energy and foul, great.
I feel like it's more under control than Colin Sexton. So Colin's just off the wall.
Yeah. But it's like I feel like he's trying not to foul as much, and he's doing it anyway. So it's like, like the last play against Ayton, he goes up. It probably wasn't a foul, but he barely grazed him. Ayton, I believe, got the and one, and it was a crucial part of the game. And it's like,
got the star call.
If you jump off your feet, just land on the guy and clobber him so he doesn't get an and one and make him earn it from the free throw line. So like it's plays like that where it's like I just wish he was a little bit smarter. I feel like he's trying not to foul, which is also working against him because he seems to just pick up the dumbest fouls, like on a pick and roll at the top of the key. He seems to foul the most. But Kevin, back to you on Beasley. I think I was kind of like you. I haven't followed him probably like you have at Denver and Minnesota, but I've been watching him closely because I felt like, man, he doesn't have it offensively, and it really felt like that's all he was good for. And these past, I don't know, 5-6 games, I feel like he's really found his groove shooting, but not just shooting. Defensively, he can get you steals and can guard good guards. And so for that fact, I mean, I don't think he's going to be like our top scorer ever, or maybe won't even be a starter. He could be taking the role of Clarkson as 6th man. And they showed a stat where he's leading the league with 3-pointers made off of the bench. So I think he's a 6th man type and possibly a finisher, depending on
wing players that can hit shots like he does. So.
Yeah, but to be able to get someone that can hit shots like that, and it's like a pure shot, and then defend someone. I mean, I just feel like that's really hard to find.
The biggest thing with Beasley is his success comes with volume. If he can be a volume shooter, he has really good success. Like if you look at his first 2 years in Minnesota before, who's the guy they drafted? Edwards.
Yeah.
Before Edwards got there, he was averaging almost 20 points a game, but he was also taking almost 18 shots a game.
And that then sucked. Yeah.
And then once Edwards got there and became the go-to guy, and he saw his shots drop to 9 or 10 a game, he kind of became irrelevant. His 3-point percentage went down. Like he's good if he's a volume shooter. He's going to be good for us this year.
Yeah, but if he can be that off of the bench, I'm okay with that.
Well, and I think Hardy mentioned it a couple games ago where if he's cutting and not just sitting there in the corner, and like doing other things, like there's that one layup that he did that I was like, wow, I didn't know he had that in his game. But,
yeah, because the night he took 17 field goal attempts, I mean, he made 7 3-pointers, shot 53% from the 3 and 58% from the field. I'll take that all every game.
Yeah, but if you go through his games that he played this year, and his games where he doesn't get up double-digit shots, I bet his percentages are really low. I'd have to go and do the research, but like he's just a volume shooter, and my concern is when we go and we get our star player, because he ain't that. He ain't a franchise player. When we go and we get that guy, he's just going to become irrelevant again. And so let's sell him now. Let's move him now while his stock is high, or we can just enjoy him for the entire season. He'll continue to do this. But when we get that franchise player, I think we're going to get the old Vando back. But,
well, yeah, it's either him or Clarkson. You got to get rid of one of them. I feel like they're both kind of like a sixth man, not a starter, especially once we get another star player. I think Lauri's that guy right now when you need a bucket or a clutch shot at the end like tonight. I would rather keep Beasley than Clarkson just because Beasley can defend. And they're showing Jordan Clarkson right now. He is tied with Brian Russell for 3-point shots made in Jazz history. And he will, he'll surpass Bojan in 10 more shots, Bojan Bogdanovic. So kind of crazy to think about because I always remember Brian Russell just being like a lights out shooter.
Yeah, it was when we didn't shoot like 43s a game. So.
Right. It took twice the amount of time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Clarkson's not going to be here in 2 years anyways when his contract expires. So, I mean.
Yeah, so I'm interested in what would you guys give up for John Collins? Because, like, would you give up Clarkson and Rudy Gay?
Oh, you ain't getting him for that.
No, not Rudy Gay. We need Rudy Gay.
No. Who said that?
We'd have to throw in a second round pick.
What if you give up Vanderbilt, Clarkson, and Gay? Would that be worth it?
That's too much. That's too much. That's too much.
And Atlanta ain't doing that.
I think we're still
That's too. I feel like that's too much for Atlanta because Atlanta doesn't utilize him correctly anyway. So it's like they can't really ask for too much.
What does Atlanta need, though? I mean, they're good with DeJounte Murray and Trae Young. What does Atlanta need?
They need bench scorers.
I bet they do the deal for Olynyk, Beasley, and a first rounder.
See this guy trying to get rid of Beasley.
No, I don't think they're taking.
I don't know if I'd want to throw in Beasley.
But they need something to replace that floor spacing.
I will give JC.
Who?
But they're guard heavy. Like their whole roster is guard heavy. But
like maybe that's how they want to play.
I just think Olynyk is such a good floor spacer. He might work there.
Yeah, I'm okay getting rid of Olynyk.
Would be good for him because he doesn't need shots and he's a wing defender.
Vando and Olynyk
doesn't work for them because of Capella.
Yeah, I agree with that. But
well, what if there's a 3-team trade?
2 first rounders.
What if there's a 3-team trade and we somehow get Jay Crowder here, and Collins goes to Phoenix, and then we'd have to give something. But I'd be okay with Jay Crowder.
Do y'all really want Jay Crowder?
No, I don't want Jay Crowder.
I do.
No.
I
He's been
do.
nothing since he left.
Is it wrong to say I don't want John Collins here?
No, not at all. John Collins can't handle the ball, so he's really dependent on.
I didn't want to interrupt y'all's conversation, but I was like, the whole time I was like, I don't know if I even want that.
I just feel like John Collins. I feel like he's an upgraded Vanderbilt.
I feel like John Collins is a decent defender, guarding bigs. I think he's a decent big defender. I think he's a good to sometimes great rebounder.
And he can shoot the 3, can he?
And he can shoot the 3, and he's athletic. I think he provides a lot.
He's better than Vanderbilt to me.
I'm not talking about John Collins as a player because I think it'd be a great addition, but I'm talking about what Atlanta would want for him. I just don't know if I'd want to give up whatever they want. I don't
think. What can Atlanta really ask for somebody that they don't use?
Yeah.
I think we're overvaluing John Collins.
I do too.
Maybe if the price was right out. He's 25. I'd take him, but I don't know. I'm not like a John Collins super fan either.
But you know how the NBA likes to value potential, and John Collins has all the potential in the world. Like,
exactly.
He's the right age,
for sure.
He's the right size. He can shoot the ball. So, like in the right system with the right coach, he's an all-star, and they're gonna sell it like that.
Yeah, if we can get rid of Rudy Gay somehow and get John Collins, I'm all for it.
So are you playing 4 out and running the pick and roll with Mike Conley with John Collins? Is that what?
Sure?
No, you can still run 5 out.
Yeah, 5 out, 4 out. I mean,
yeah, you can do whatever you want with that.
Because
Hard to predict,
technically
yes.
Vanderbilt is running the center for us right now.
Right.
And so just
I've seen that
replace
on
him with
box scores.
Collins.
He's listed as the
I mean,
center.
really, it's
And he's
Olenek,
not
though.
and he's nowhere near as a big body as John Collins is. So.
It's really Olenek playing the center. I don't know why they have that listed, but yeah, and then you got Walker Kessler if you need a true big. And I want to hit on Walker Kessler. What do you guys feel? Because like I feel like he's lost confidence.
He needs time. That's all. I don't think he lost confidence.
He's a
I think
rookie,
he needs time, and he's a rookie. He's running out of gas because of how these back-to-backs and shit like that. The college game is not like that. So
yeah,
And the NBA
he needs
figured
time.
him out. NBA has figured him out. He can't guard the pick and roll to save his life.
No.
He don't even know what to do when you pick and roll him.
Yeah.
He's so confused.
Yeah, I agree with Kevin there.
Did you see how many times they pick and rolled him tonight? Like
Yeah.
every single time.
Yeah, but see, the thing is that there's not a lot of guards that can just completely expose him like that. Like Devin Booker is just one of those guards who just his zone is right there in the draft. Like he loves drop coverage.
Yeah, but imagine if that was Chris Paul.
I know Chris Paul would have eaten him for dinner.
Yeah, Chris Paul would have ate him.
But Chris Paul also would have not.
That's another elite guy who loves drop coverage. Like that's just like one of those situations where like they have two guards who really know how to destroy drop coverage. I don't think there's like a lot of teams who can kill drop coverage.
Well, here's the thing to think about too. I mean, we gave up 59 to Embiid just the other night. We gave up 49 tonight to Devin Booker. And I know they're elite players, but at some point you got to look at the Jazz and how many points we're giving up.
It feels like that's almost
players.
It feels like that's almost the game plan.
Why are we giving up this many points?
No, that's the game plan. It's definitely part of the game plan where it's like
let them get theirs.
See if they gas out.
Yeah, because Booker did gas out towards the end there.
He definitely gassed out, but then you look at Embiid with, what did he have? 59, 10, 6 blocks.
Embiid did not gas out.
No.
He didn't. He was close. That was the thing. He was just close. He was close to.
But how many times is Embiid going to do that again?
He's not going to.
Yeah.
He is going to.
So you got to take your chances.
He's an MVP candidate for 2 years in a row. He's been second place in the MVP race, right?
Yeah.
He is that guy. He's going to do that consistently because that's what he does.
But you get in a 7-game playoff series and take your chances.
Playing those type of games where the game is going back and forth, is being slowed down. I don't think Embiid is giving you fucking 50 for a 7-game series.
No, yeah, especially in the playoffs when it's the game's intensified. So
yeah, like we play the game exactly how you would play in the playoffs. Now I feel like that might be a bad situation because if we kind of play like we're already in the playoffs, if we were to hit the playoffs, how many more adjustments does Will Hardy have?
Yeah, and I think once we hit the playoffs, if our defense doesn't improve, we're just gonna get toasted.
Oh no, we're gonna get killed in the playoffs.
Like
that was part of what I wanted to talk about.
If we make the playoffs, I'm quitting this damn team.
Why? Do you really want to? Please don't tell me you're on board with the tank of dogs.
Please don't tell me you're on board with making the first round every single year and losing.
I'm not on board for tanking.
I'm not on board for tanking either.
If it means we can get past the second round,
I think
we're gonna make the playoffs.
I think there's a lot of value in this draft besides Wemby and Scoot.
I think that's okay, but realistically, what is the ceiling of this team? I don't think they get past the first round. They definitely don't get past the second round.
No, but if they do, if this team comes away with a first round victory, like everything from the last 2 years.
Dinner. I'll buy everybody on the
All right, it's recorded. It's recorded, Kevin.
Whatever steakhouse you want. There's no way in hell this team is winning a first round playoff.
You know that if we're winning like this, that we're trading for somebody that's going to help us in the playoffs.
Well, so what I want to talk about is since
Jay Crowder.
Players stock
Jay Crowder. Come on, with the assets we have.
I think the situation is that in order for us to really know how good of a team we are, we need to be able to see how far we can push Lowry. And and the games that we do lose is the games that we don't give the ball to Lowry.
Well, tonight's a good start in the right direction.
When we give up leads, is when Lauri's on the court and Lauri doesn't get the ball.
Armani, you're 100% right. But
Armani, do you think that Lauri's the number one?
Do you really think that Lauri Markkanen is the number one option on a championship contender?
No,
I think he's an extremely strong number 2.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing.
I don't even know if he's a number 2.
Depending on what team he's on.
No. He's a number 2. You don't see a bunch of 7-foot 3-level scorers on the court.
Yeah, I think he's a number 2, especially after tonight.
We've been through 20 games.
I know,
right?
but he hit his career high tonight, and he shoots 83%, 66%, 75%. Like, I think he's a number 2, and especially if you have a number 1 guy, it takes the pressure off of him. So I believe
he's a weak number 1. We don't know how far he can go. I think he's a weak number 1, but an extremely strong number 2.
Has he ever been to the playoffs?
Why couldn't he be that on another team? Why couldn't he do that for the Bulls?
Because they all wanted him to be a 7-footer.
Wait. On the Bulls, the first 2 seasons he was being allotted that type of play, and then middle of the second season they brought in Jim Boylan, and when Jim Boylan came in, he crashed out the whole team.
Yeah.
I
don't think he's had a fair shot.
And then when he got to Cleveland, come on. Okay. you have Darius Garland, and then you got Darius Garland, you got Jarred Allen, who's an all-star. They just drafted Evan Mobley.
Yeah.
He's
never played it in the playoff series, has he?
Yeah, the Cavs. No, they didn't actually. No,
he didn't play in Chicago either. So that'll be interesting to see once he's in the playoffs how he performs in the playoffs.
So whenever we had Donovan and Rudy Gobert, we had the 1 and 2, right? Those were definitely our 1 and 2, and those 2 weren't enough. So I wouldn't say Rudy's a 2 though. Rudy. Yeah, on offense he's not. I'll give you that 100%.
Yeah.
I don't feel like Rudy got enough touches that we was able to really judge him.
Right, but this is my question for you: whether those 2 were deserving of a 1 or 2 or not,
right?
Those were our 1 and 2 on our championship contending team, right?
Mm-hmm.
So are we with those 2? Those 2 weren't enough to get out of the second round. Are we really going to say that Lauri Markkanen is going to be enough to get out of the second round?
For you to be able to go deep in the playoffs, you need a winning score.
Yeah, because you
that
was
Donovan Mitchell.
You had Donovan Mitchell.
But look at the difference between Donovan Mitchell and Lauri is that Lauri is a complete mismatch problem.
He's a 7-footer.
He can't do this stuff that Donovan does.
No, but tonight when Booker was on him and that clutch shot, like he was just like Armani's saying, he's 7 foot. So it's almost like Kevin Durant. It doesn't matter who's on him. It's much easier to score being 7 foot over.
And he knows how to play off the ball. See,
who's going to have a better, longer career, Donovan Mitchell or Lauri Markkanen?
Oh,
don't be dumb.
Come on. I'm just asking.
I feel like
Donovan Mitchell already's got a lot of miles on him by now. With all
this is not a question. The answer is Donovan.
I don't think Donovan is playing a long career.
Yeah, he's on. I mean, his ankle's already hurting him in Cleveland.
Come on, guys. This is not a question.
Come on.
No, I think Donovan has a better career.
New York, he's not going to be able to take him to the playoffs.
You telling me right now?
Lauri is the next Dirk.
You tell me if you had to choose between Markkanen and Mitchell, you would pick Markkanen over Mitchell?
You're crazy.
I'm not saying. I feel like
Mitchell's best game, Markkanen's best game, all-time game in the playoffs. I'd rather have the option of Markkanen. He can shoot, he can stretch, he can rebound.
Yeah. But
Donovan 30 shots and get you a career high 50 points, but still lose.
Yeah, that's what it's like. Who can win you a game?
Takes a whole bunch of shots. Come on.
Because I feel like Markkanen's giving you more with rebounds and assisting than Donovan ever would. I feel like the knock on Donovan, for me at least, is Kevin, like you're saying, he needs a lot of shots in order to score that many points, and he doesn't involve his teammates. So, yeah, I like it's hard to say because Markkanen hasn't been in the playoffs, but from our experience with Donovan,
Rudy Gobert, if Lauri Markkanen had Rudy Gobert, he'd probably be in the playoffs too.
Donovan and Markkanen went to at least the conference finals.
Oh no, yeah.
We didn't
Honestly, but we wouldn't have been able to have.
Yeah. If Donovan can actually win a playoff series.
Wait. You guys are saying that if we replace last year's team, Markkanen right now with Rudy Gobert, then the Jazz go to the conference finals.
Yes.
No chance.
No, I'm not going that far. I'm not going that far.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that because where's the rim protection?
I don't know though, man. Maybe if Gobert wasn't on the team, Donovan actually would have tried.
Yeah, maybe, but I'm not going to go that far.
But what do you mean by Donovan would have actually tried?
Man, did you not watch last season? He was nailing it in the last half of the season.
Yeah,
Every time someone got
he was
by,
tired of Rudy. He got COVID from Rudy and never recovered.
He just put his hands on his hip. Like
That's why Edwards doesn't pass to him and he doesn't drive.
Yeah, I have to agree. He wasn't.
Well, see, the Edwards thing, I don't think Edwards is even a developed passer anyway, so it really, yeah.
I agree with you there.
Yeah, I hope everything just goes to shit in Minnesota and we can get Anthony Edwards.
Hell yeah.
I don't
want Anthony Edwards.
And I don't want
their pick, though. Their nice pick this year.
Anyway,
I think we just need to be able to see how we can utilize Lauri, what's his limitations, and once we figure that out, we will know if we have a number one or a number two. But I'm banking on him being an extremely strong number two. It's hard to get a number one.
It's supposed to be Mike Conley, but he's not.
No.
Mike Conley's never been a number one.
He's a distributor.
No, I feel like in a lot of games, and I was looking forward to him when we traded him, and I thought him and Mitchell would have been. I didn't think
Donovan didn't let him do.
Yeah, but Memphis
Donovan didn't let him do
a distributor, not like an attacking.
Yeah, but also Mike Conley couldn't do what he's doing with this team because Rudy Gobert couldn't catch the ball and do what Markkanen can do on the pick and roll. So the thing that I hated about Mike Conley and Donovan is on the defensive end, it's just a mismatch every single time. They're too small. So, all right, I'm gonna end this one because we've got another one tomorrow. I'll do a pregame. I went to my grandma's tonight and watched my kids because my wife was working out the game. But I wanted to hit the games real quick before we end this one around the league. Looks like Golden State Warriors are going to beat the New York Knicks tonight. LA Lakers are beating Detroit, barn burner. And Washington beat Miami by 1 point. Washington, I feel like, is a real good, I feel like they're built like us and are going to surprise people in the East. Cleveland beats Charlotte. No surprise there. Philadelphia beats Milwaukee, which is a surprise. I want to go look at the box score, see if Embiid scored another 50 piece. Orlando beats Chicago. Indiana beats Houston. Memphis beats, Oklahoma. Is that right? I can't see the score, though. Dallas beats Denver handily. Boston beats New Orleans Pelicans. The Jazz win big in Utah against Phoenix. And that is it. So we're back at it in Portland tomorrow against Damian Lillard. He's one of my favorite players to watch. And it seems like since he's come back, the Portland Trailblazers have not been winning as much. So it'll be interesting tomorrow on the pregame, breaking that down. Thank you guys for listening and following. It's so much fun. It feels like it's becoming more of a natural conversation, and I actually love people talking over each other and kind of going back and forth. That's what this podcast is all about. So make sure you do all the things that help podcasts grow, like, share, comment. Just share it. And go Jazz.
5 stars.
What? Oh, I think it's
5 stars.
Yeah, 5 stars. And I think
you see the tweet
even if you don't like us.
I want to say
fire.
No, thanks for doing this, Jordan.
Yeah, it's fun. And I just had a brain fart. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Go Jazz.